Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Movie and Makeup Moment. Normally on Mondays I do a trailer reaction, but there really wasn't anything that I was excited to watch the trailer for, so today we're going to do something a little different. I've been watching a lot of Lauren May and Hannah Louise Poston. Oh, I'm going to screw up the names of them, but I'll link them below, and they're very big on enjoying your palette collection, you know, not buying a lot. So is Abby Williamson. I've watched a lot of her anti-haul videos and they crack me up and they get me to think about purchases before I make them, and I've just really been enjoying them. So Samantha March did a palette tag that I believe Lauren did later, which is how I kind of found who the creator was. So Samantha March did a collaboration with Ali Gines. I don't know, I'm gonna screw it up. Anyways, I got the questions from Samantha March's video and I'm going to do that palette tag today. We're going to talk about my collection of makeup and what I have and my thoughts surrounding the makeup that I do have. If you are new, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. Stay a while. And if you do subscribe, definitely leave me a comment below. Say who you are. If you don't want to, that's totally cool, but it'd be really nice if I could get to know you all. All right. So I am drinking some hard cider today. My son is not napping again today. I have a feeling that he's like getting rid of his nap. I'm not okay with that, but it is what it is. So if you hear him kicking the wall behind me, that's why. Get into it. The first question, if I look down at my laptop, or look down, that I'm reading the questions on my laptop. All right, show your newest palette. So this is a hard one. Technically, I bought the Natasha Denona Mini Zendo palette. I'll throw a picture up this morning, and it hasn't come yet. So that would technically be my newest palette, but I haven't even played with it yet. If you saw my last video, well, not my last video, my second to last video, the video that went up on Friday on the new makeup releases, you'll know that I was like obsessed with the new Natasha Denona Holiday Triochrome palette, but $130 was insane. I was actually considering purchasing that. I know, right? But then the more I looked at it, the more I thought about it, I was like, that's crazy. I don't even know if I like Natasha Denona eyeshadows. Like, I've never tried them. And the reason I was like really into it is because I did recently buy her highlighter and I absolutely love it. It has made me enjoy putting on makeup so much more. I really love it. Let me swatch it for you guys. It's so pretty. I didn't mean to like flip you off. It looks like it's gonna be too dark in the swatch on my face, but I'm wearing it today and like it looks fine. Maybe my hands are paler than my face. The newest palette that I have in front of me is the Zulu by Juvia's Place. I have really been loving this. I haven't touched all of the colors yet. I don't believe I played with that one yet, the orange one or the pinks. I think I've kind of stuck to that yellow and then this row right here. And I've loved it. That yellow I have actually worn a couple times as an all over shadow, which is surprising, but it just kept giving me like these like retro vibes. So I was like wearing it with, cause it's kind of like a mustardy yellow. I don't know if you can tell, but like it just made me, I don't know. I just like blew it out and it was just so pretty. Yeah, I honestly love it. And I believe it was only $20. So this is my first palette from Juvia's Place, but I will definitely purchase from them again. They're such a reasonable price and I've really, really enjoyed this palette. I still have more, you know, to do with this palette. I need to play with it more. Let's see. The next one is my oldest palette. It's kind of funny because I'd have to say that my oldest palette is my Z palette, but is that cheating? Like these are all the singles I have. I don't have that many singles. I used to have a bunch of Makeup Geek ones, but then I noticed that they were starting to change in quality and I wasn't enjoying them anymore, and it was just making me upset to look at them because they were things that I absolutely loved. So this is my oldest palette, but some of these shadows are newer. So do you hear my son singing? He's crazy. This is a duochrome that I got from Makeup Geek right before she rebranded. I love that purple shade. This green, I do as an all over shade. It's like this grungy green. The only eyeshadow that I loved from the Pure Masquerade palette, so I depotted it and I threw it in the Z palette so that I could wear it. And I still use them. The other shades are from the Alamar palette and then Bitten, which I have to say, I don't think that the Bitten performs that great anymore. I feel like I can't build it up the way that I want it to perform. If we're going by a real palette, it would probably be my Violet Voss, because I received that in BoxyCharm. Actually, I don't know. It's hard to keep track of like when I got things. Anyway, we're just gonna skip over that. I got like hot all of a sudden. Whew. Okay, which one are we on? We did the newest palette, oldest palette, most expensive palette. I guess that would have to be a tie between these two because of the same price, $42. I guess I don't have a palette more expensive than that. I have definitely loved on these, probably the Soft Glam more than anything, because this was like my, I used this for work all the time. Okay, so the next one is show your most affordable palette. I guess technically my most affordable would be the Violet Voss, because I did receive it in BoxyCharm. So this would be my most affordable. I don't really use it that much. I love the So Jelly and the On Fleek. Those are probably my favorite. Or the How You Doin', which is the orangey shimmers. I feel like they really do have, yeah, they have nice shimmers. And I don't love on this enough. I need to bust it out more. But I get kind of overwhelmed when I look at this palette. Oh, did I swatch that already or just on Flink? Okay, so those two look really similar. Yeah, I need to play with it more. Show your everyday palette. All right, so I guess my everyday palette, it would have to be the Soft Glam. So as you can tell, Tempera is like pretty much gone. But then I would use, what is it? Orange Soda as my crease transition shade. And then I would use this to kind of deepen up the outer corner and maybe a pinch of that to just kind of deepen it out a little bit more. I have used this little corner so much just because I feel like it's so easy. It's just like so flattering. I don't have to think about it. It blends out like a dream. It's just like thoughtless. Like I just go in, I do it, and it's just perfect. Although I will say, like, when I run out, I probably won't go out and repurchase it just because I've been loving on this for over a year now. gosh, probably over like almost 2 years now I've been loving on this. And so I kind of get to a place where I'm like, I want to try something new. I want to have a new experience. It's probably been the most loved on. Okay. Show your most colorful palette. I have to say, probably Zulu would have to be my most colorful palette. It just would. I mean, look at those gorgeous colors. Smallest palette. The Mini Controversy would have to be my smallest palette. This is like my ideal size. I want more palettes like this because I feel like I can easily reach for this and I don't get overwhelmed. That being said, I used this color, what is it? My Apology on my lid today, and I had to redo my makeup about 3 times. I don't know what it is with this shade. It's just like such a weird texture. It's so pretty and it swatches beautifully, but you try to mix it with like anything and it like changes, like, and it stains your eye. I don't know. I want to love that shade more, but it like genuinely made me upset this morning. I had to wet my brush and stamp it onto my eye, wait for that to dry, and then take other colors to kind of like blend it a little bit. But I couldn't have like that smoked out look that I wanted. It's like a satin, but I have to say, like, the texture of the other shades are beautiful. I don't really use this one. I've never used the 2 blues, and that deep purple I have used, but I haven't used it very often. The 2 that have surprised me that I've used a lot are these 2. And this root beer shade is like my perfect outer corner just for like an everyday look. It surprised me how much I've liked that root beer shade. I wish that my palette had that green in it. All right, so that was my smallest palette. Show my biggest palette. All right, so I have to say the Violet Voss is my biggest palette. Like I showed you, I do get overwhelmed when I open it up, and I always kind of gravitate towards the just like in your face colors. They kind of pull me to use them, so I feel like I haven't really used much of the palette. And I feel like because this is you know, kind of an older palette, a lot of people have loved this, but they don't talk about it much. So I feel like I forget about this palette. And it has made me not want bigger palettes in my collection because I just feel like I don't use them. I had the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I would use the same 3 shades out of it because I would just open it and it would overwhelm me and I couldn't make a decision. So I think that's why I'm going to really love like Natasha's mini shadow, because I just feel like there's 5 shadows. It allows me room to be creative, I feel like. At least I'm hoping, right? I mean, fingers crossed. Okay, so that was my biggest palette. Show your palette with the best memory. Show my palette with the best memory. Well, Soft Glam I purchased right after I had my son. I had about 50 pounds ish to lose after I had him. Maybe more like 40, because I think I lost 10 immediately when he was born. But I was watching makeup videos and I was trying to like build up my self-esteem after having him. And that's when, you know, Norvina had just dropped, but I hadn't even been watching makeup. So I was still kind of enamored with Soft Glam. So I felt kind of like, and this was right before ABH started doing their like launch after launch after launch. There are still some palettes that I kind of wish I had gotten because I do like the formula of ABH. I wish that I had gotten Jackie Ina's palette. It was like gone immediately. I just feel like I couldn't really catch up. But this really reminds me of that. I mean, I lost 30 pounds when I was like playing with this, when I was, you know, focusing on my face and what I liked about myself still, and ignoring the fact that my clothes didn't fit. And and I think back to like him being a little baby, and you know, now he just potty trained, and he just moved out of his nursery and into my daughter's room. And so I when I see this palette, I think of him, and I think of the journey that it took to kind of recover from his birth. So, and I treated myself. It was like a treat yourself day. Like, I did not plan on purchasing this. I saw it. I told my husband I wanted it. I was on maternity leave, so I wasn't really getting paid, and he was just like, get it, honey. A palette worth the hype. Soft Glam was so popular. Everyone loved this. I feel like so many beauty gurus talked about this for the longest time, and they still tend to talk about it, right? I mean, it had to be popular enough that now for the holiday launch, they're doing a mini version of it at $29, which has my favorite shades in here. These, you know, these shimmers are not that great. They're like kind of a satin shimmer, so they kind of fall flat on the eye. You can't really tell that they are a shimmer. They don't like sparkle like crazy. They're so creamy though. Like this rose pink. Like, see how it's not very glittery? It's like kind of like this like metallic, not that crazy finish. I didn't really prefer that, so. But I do feel like a lot of people love this, and I can totally see why. Show a palette not worth the hype. I don't think this was worth the hype. I mean, this had an abnormal amount of hype, this Controversy palette, but I will say, when I first saw the color story, because I watched the entire docu-series that Shane Dawson did, I remember being kind of like underwhelmed by both palettes, and just being like, but I was so invested in the story that I like wanted it. And I didn't like the packaging of this is the Controversy. So that means that the other one was the Conspiracy. I didn't like the packaging for the Conspiracy. It was so bulky and big, and I didn't picture wanting to use it. And then I saw how fast that sold out. So then I saw that this was still available on Beautylish, and it was $28, and I was like, I want to touch it. I want to see it. And I had never gotten anything from Jeffree Star. This is my only thing from Jeffree Star. And I have to say, I love Jeffree Star's mattes. Like, though I'm not as big a fan of the shimmers that he has. I mean, maybe it's just reflective of this particular, because even, let's see, there's really only 2 shimmers that I've used, and I told you I struggled with this one. And then this one is like a cool tone shade, and it just, every time I use it, I just feel a little washed out, and like not that happy with it. But man, this powdery blue that I thought I would never use, and this like light purple, I just like, I love it. I love these. But I don't feel like the color story made any sense. And Jeffree Star, I feel like his palettes tend to be like, let me throw a bunch of stuff at you, make it very interesting to the eye, and challenge you. Come buy this because you think it's pretty, and then you figure out how to use it. You know, show me your artistic nature. I feel like a lot of people that buy Jeffree Star are very artistic. I'm not. I mean, I'm okay, but I just feel like you can't wear that blue with that. You know what I mean? Like, And the way that this is aligned, like I almost wish the blue was like brought down here, the purple was like brought up there. So there was like this little purple corner, this little neutral corner, and then the blues. I don't know, but I also feel like this blue and this tone, they don't go together. Like I can't use these together. And like, I thought, okay, this is like a shimmery satin shade. This is like a matte. Maybe if I put this on the crease and then pop this in and then like blend it out with the light blue, but it's just such a jarring shade of blue. Like, it's just so blue. Like, I don't understand where I would ever wear that. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be like going out to the bar or something, and that's not my life. You know what I mean? Oh, and see, it's like if you make a mistake on your eye with that blue, it's like hard to get it off. I gotta clean my hand. Show your favorite palette from a favorite brand. I don't really have favorite brands. I do feel like I like to try different things, and once I love something, I'm more open to that brand, but it doesn't mean that I will like use exclusively that brand. I have to say, like, if I had to pick something, it would be the Soft Glam. That's kind of boring. I feel like the Norvina excites me more. Those shimmers are actually like really good. Oh, my hand is all here. I'll show. Okay, these shimmers, like, look at that. And then it has like this pink, which I love pink on the eye, but it's like a subtle pink. And then there's purple, but they're like muted, so they're kind of like neutral. But they're so pretty. And I find that these shimmers are like what I was missing from the Soft Glam. So I really do like it. And, you know, I liked that there were 50% matte, 50% shimmer. I definitely have gotten my use out of this. I don't know if you can tell. But I do really like this. I wish that I had gotten my hands on the Jackie Aina one. That one looks gorgeous. Whoops. And I'm not interested in the Norvina palettes, like those big palettes. I'm not. So I'm kind of disappointed in the brand right now. Show my most used palette. That would be Soft Glam. I feel like this video has just turned into how much I love Soft Glam, which is so crazy because I haven't used it that much recently, because I've been kind of branching out and trying to use like the palettes that I haven't been using. But I did use this shade just the other day. What is it? Dusty Rose. And it was such a pretty, just like, I just used that in the crease and it was done. Like, and I loved that. So I like that. And that was my last palette. So let's see, did I even feature all the palettes that I have? I didn't. Whoops, I just dropped Soft Glam. I have the Naked. I think I'm gonna try and dip into this more because I am feeling a little bit cool toned. I bought this when it was 50% on sale at Ulta right before they were discontinuing it, and I got like a little bit of FOMO because I hadn't had it. I don't love it. The shimmers are very like satiny. They're not, you know, that deep sparkle that I really want. It's cool toned. As you can tell, I lean more towards warm tones. But right now I feel like the cool tones are coming back. So I'm kind of glad that I have this so that I don't have to purchase anything. And yeah, I'm gonna try it. Like, I'm kind of digging this color right here. I want to try working with that. See, it's funny because its swatch is so different than what it looks like in the pan. It looks blue in the pan, and then I like it. And then I swatch it, and I'm like, meh. But this gold one, I've definitely enjoyed as like an all over shade. These are really easy. I feel like because they are satiny, you can do an all over look very easy, and they are very blendable. So I wouldn't go out. I'm glad I didn't purchase this for $60. That would be crazy. I paid $30, and I think for $30 it's a really good palette. I use this for my eyebrows, which is why I've hit pan on it. And when I finish this, I will start using this one for my eyebrows, just to kind of feel like I'm getting my money's worth. And maybe if I can dip into this a little bit now that cool tones are back, I will. It wasn't a great purchase. Hashtag the palette I regret. No, I'm happy now that I have it, but I bought this right on the tails of buying the Norvina and the Soft Glam, so I was just so underwhelmed by this. I feel like that's what happens when you, like, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I'm in the mood for makeup or I'm not in the mood for makeup. Not to say that I'm not in the mood to play with makeup, but sometimes I'm in more of a mood to purchase makeup. And so I will buy like 3 or 4 palettes at a time, and then I won't buy a lot after that. And that's kind of what happened with the Naked palette. The Naked palette was like on the coattails of buying some palettes, and then coattails of buying some palettes, and then I kind of became interested in other things in my life. So you know, if you watch this video and you want to talk about your palettes, I tag you and let me know if you post a video, because I definitely want to see it. I love seeing what people are into and what's in their collections. And I'm really excited to try the Natasha Denona formula. I hear like some people love it or some people hate it, so I'm kind of curious to see if I'll like it. But you know, what I have in my collection right now, I do really enjoy. The Violet Voss formula I do really like. I don't use it as much, and I need to. I really do, because there was a time that I used it a lot. It's just, there's something overwhelming about pulling out a large palette like that. And then the mini Controversy palette, I do pull this out quite a bit, but I don't use the colors that scare me. And you know, I'm thinking about doing this new series where it's called like Get Risky with Makeup, like, you know, use the scary colors. Woo! Use the scary colors, and maybe we can just kind of drink some wine or even coffee. I'm cool with coffee, and just kind of dig into a palette, and like I can tell you what I like about the palette, what scares me about the palette, and try and do something with it. I'm sure that some things will not turn out well, but I mean, it's what it is. I mean, not everybody is going to be perfect at using these colors, and I feel like it'll be relatable. Let me know what you think. Here's my makeup. There's the moment. It has passed, and I will see you next time on the Movie and Makeup Moment. Thanks. Bye.